Welcome to Community Media's cultural program in Pursuit of Roots. This episode is the fourth one. Our Dr. Mohan Varughese is with us with his deep knowledge about the ancient culture of Kerala. Not only about that subject, he has vast knowledge about many other subjects. And so today, this episode, the topic is Kerala in ancient Thamizhakam or Tamilagam. Sir, please give us the information about ancient Thamizhakam.
Okay, Tamil is a language, but Tamil is beyond just a language. It is a culture, it is a region, it's a geographic entity, a cultural entity, a political entity also. So while we say Tamil, it is a multi-dimensional concept, the Dravidian land. Tamilians even name their political parties after their Dravidian identity. Dravida Munneta Kazhagam, All India Dravida Munneta Kazhagam, Marumalarchi Dravida Munneta Kazhagam, all pledged by Dravidian identity. So Tamil Dravidian language is generally called the Tamil language. The regions, the areas, the places, the geographic entity ruled by the Tamil language, dominated by the Tamil culture, is called ancient Thamizhakam.
So Kerala was a part of Thamizhakam?
The present day Kerala, definitely 100% of the areas in the present day Kerala, right from Kasaragod district to Trivandrum district in the south, happen to be part of ancient Thamizhakam. But ancient Thamizhakam is not just one single political unit. It was number of political units in a larger confederal arrangement. The Cheras, the Cholas, the Pandyas, and Ais and Irimalais, all different.
Chera, Chola, Pandya, all these dynasties ruled Kerala.
They are dynasties, they are rulers, they are people also. People, you know, Cheran is the king. Chera is the people also. Chera is the land also. So when you say Chera, the imagery is different. When you say Cheran, Cheran Chenkuttavan, Udiyan Cheraladhan, Nedum Cheraladhan, Perum Cheral Irimburai, Nedum Cheraladhan, all these Cheran were the ruling dynasties and people. So they were called Cheran. But the people also were called Chera people. Right? Not all were Cheras. Cheras happen to be the present day, maybe Ernakulam district, Thrissur district, parts of Palakkad district, the entire Coimbatore area of Tamil Nadu, Erode, Namakkal, they are all parts of Chera. And also down south into areas of Kottayam, Idukki, Pathanamthitta also happen to be a Chera kingdom. But it used to change from time to time. There was Pandya occupation sometimes, Chola encroachment.
First occupation is with the Chera, then came Chola.
Not exactly like that. They were independent entities. Originally, the so-called Cheras came from the Coimbatore Erode belt. That was barren land, not very much a cultivable land. They had an area called Vanchi.
Vanchi.
That was supposed to be their capital, original capital. It could have been Karur. They called it Karur Vanchi. Karur Vanchi is just south of Coimbatore maybe. So that is where Tamrabarni, that river, one Tamralipti river used to flow. It's a branch of Kaveri river. It is the delta.
Oh, then exactly where lies that ancient Vanchi now?
There are many Vanchis now. See, the way we look at Vanchi is just a political capital. And Cheras had different branches. One branch would have had Vanchi, which is close to Muziris. Muziris would have been ancient Kodungalur. Kodungalur, the term Kodungalur was never there in the 1st century documents. In Pliny's records and Periplus travel accounts and Strabo's travel documents, nothing called Kodungalur. That region, that area, that port, the ancient Chera port, was a huge city in those days.
So the ancient Cheras had more than one capitals.
Understandably so, more than one capital. And they would have come and settled down from Coimbatore region in present-day Tamil Nadu, from Erode, Namakkal region. They would have travelled westwards, and by marital alliance, they established some link with Tindis, Thundi. That could be somewhere in Malappuram district today, or even northern Trichur district, some coastal town. It could be Ponnani. It could be somewhere between Calicut and Ponnani. That could be Tindis. They called it Thundi. Thundi is also a kind of capital. That's also Chera landscape. Through marriage it came. And then they came further down to Kodungalur. That is the ancient Muziris. Muchiri Pattanam they call it. Chiri, you know, that there's lips divided into 3. Muchiri, Mu means 3. Muchiri means, you know, lip of Periyar. The river Periyar, that was ancient world, it was called Churniya. That branches into 3 and flow into the Arabian Sea. When the approaching vessels, the Roman vessels, the Greek vessels come, they see the river unleashing its waters into Arabian Sea. As if it is 3 lips.
Does the word Vanchi mean capital?
It can mean capital, it can mean a lot of other things also. It is a concept, Vanchi and Ten Vanchi, Southern Vanchi, and all that kind of Vanchis. So it can be something like a capital. Something like a capital. One can't be very sure about whether it is called capital. But they called it Vanchi. Vanchi Putur, Vanchima Nagari. Okay, that is, it could be the present day Karupadana, or maybe it can be somewhere around Kodungalur. But we do not exactly know where exactly was Vanchi located. Somewhere in Kodungalur region is all what we know. According to Pliny, it is 20 stadia into land. 20 stadia from Muziris, Muchiri Pattanam, that is Muziris. Greeks and Romans called it Muziris. It is 20 stadia east of Muziris.
Stadia.
Stadia is a measurement. It was a unit of like Roman measurement.
Like a kilometer, mile?
Yeah, it is less than a mile, less than a kilometer, one can say.
Stadia. It has nothing to do with our stadium.
Perhaps, you know, that word stadium would have come from that Greek root. Greek root.
That is, I've been teaching datum, singular, data, plural, medium,
stadium,
singular, media.
Correct, it can be.
It can be.
Stadi, they called it stadi. Stadia. Stadi.
Stadia.
That is the pronunciation, stadi. So 20 is stadia into. So that is one place. The Vanchi can be one place located very much on a riverbed or river surrounding the river. Backwaters could be lake could be river. It could ideally be lakes and river and sea all converge into one mass. So that could be a fertile land also. Ideal for parking ships, anchoring ships.
Anchoring.
Big ships will be anchored in outer sea, but smaller ships could come inside, or smaller vessels like boats, ancient boats could come inside. So that is the land called Muziris, and inside Muziris, 20 stadia eastwards into River Periyar, that is Churniyar, is called the Vanchi, the capital of the Cheras.
Then can you give the borders and location of ancient Thamizhakam?
Borders and locations of ancient Thamizhakam is the land which is ruled by Muventhar. The Cheras. Venthan means king.
Venthan.
Not Vendran, Venda. Venda. Vale. Vale is the term used. Vale. Vale, Velnada, Vale, Mannan. That is all the royal authorities. This Chera king is one world which has graduated into Kuttuvan. The king is called Kuttuvan. The Chera king is called Kuttuvan. Not the name of a person, but a title called Kuttuvan. Pandya king is called Pandyan. Chola king is called Cholan. And Chera king is always called Kuttuvan 2000 years back. In 1st century AD, 2nd century AD, as per Sankham literature, is called Kuttuvan. Chera king is called Kuttuvan. Okay? Kuttuvan after Kuttuvan ruled Chera land. And Pandya land ruled by the Pandyan, and Chola land ruled by the Cholan. All these three kings together were called Mu Arashar. Arashar means king. Mu Vendhan. Vendhan also means king. Maybe emperor. These three lands were in an inverted pyramidal shape. Inverted triangular shape. The northern area, you are asking me about the borders. The western border obviously is Arabian Sea. The eastern border can be Bay of Bengal. And the northern border is a landed border. That is called the Sapta Shailam. Ejilmalai. Seven. Eja means seven. 7 hills. That is the present day Nilgiris. That is today
it belonged to Ejimalai.
Yeah, Uti. Nilgiris. That's a part of Ejimalai.
What about Kerala's
part, Wayanad, hills of Wayanad can be part of Ejilmalai. 7. Saptashailam they call it. And also Kudakumalai. That is in present day Karnataka. That's in Karnataka. Mangaluru, that region, Kudak. And Kottavai Pujai. The Kottavai was the deity of the Cheran. It was worshipped by Ayiramalai. Kottavais. And then Kudiramalai. Parampamalai. They were all the present day Tamil Nadu, present day Karnataka border. These hills are collectively called Ejilmalai. So that is the northern border.
So the ancient Thamizhakam included some parts of Karnataka, some parts of Kerala, and Madras, ancient Madras.
That was Chola land. Madras, the term Madras is new. Very much colonial origin.
So, till recently, the state was also called Madras, not Tamil Nadu.
Yes.
What about that Madras, or what is the difference between Chennai is a new word?
Chennai is a new word, not very new, but not very old either. It was called Chennai region. That was called Thondai Mandalam.
Capital of.
That was capital of the, but that was never the capital of.
In olden days, both the state and capital were called Madras.
Yeah, that's modern day. Maduro is a European. That region, Thondai Mandalam, is named after the person, the colonial person who built that city, a modern city called Madras. So we were, once upon a time, we were also called Madrasis, right. Even North Indians called us Madrasis. Understanding of the North Indians about South Indians is that that's a major city is Madras. So anybody living in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, or even Karnataka,
Ah.
they're all Madrasis.
Oh.
That's just a common
Name
parlance,
given to us.
just to identify people of the south. The Dravidian people, Dravidian people of ancient Thamizhakam, the present day Tamil Nadu and Kerala and southern Karnataka. They're all called these Madrasis.
Yeah.
And mind you, Madras stretched up to Kerala also. Even colonial days, British province, Madras province of Britain, British province of Madras, incorporated areas in Kerala, present day Kerala, areas in Palakkad district, Malappuram district, Kannur and Kasaragod, Wayanad districts, were all Madras presidency. That was part of Madras province. Yeah. So in that sense, Kerala is also Madrasis in that sense. But Travancore part was never part of, but it was a princely state. Cochin was also a princely state. Nothing to do with Madras province. But generally, it was called Madrasis.
About the border, you gave the answer. Then I want to know which are the parts of present Kerala,
Yeah.
which were the parts of present Kerala belonging to ancient Thamizhakam.
In fact, all areas belong to ancient Thamizhakam, present day Kerala. All area belong to Thamizhakam, but the entire Thamizhakam cannot be called Kerala. Entire Kerala was
some
within
parts of
ancient
Karnataka,
Thamizhakam.
Karnataka and then Tamil Nadu also.
Exactly.
But Kerala completely belonged to Thamizhakam.
Very much.
Very much.
Present day Kerala, in fact, had 5 different Tamil entities, political entities.
Political.
Extreme north was Ejimala. It was not Ejilmalai. It was called Ejimala.
Ejimala.
Different from Ejilmalai.
Both are different.
Both are different.
Malayil,
Totally different. Totally different. Ejimala is the present day Ejimala. That is the Naval Academy. Is located in Ejimala. That part was ruled by an emperor called Nannan. You know why the name Ejimala comes?
No.
Ejimala came from Elimala. Eli is rodents.
Not like a 7. This is a
Mouse, rat.
Mouse.
Rat, mouse.
How it came?
It was the shape of the hill.
Hill shape.
Yeah. The small head of a rodent. Eli shape. And the big back of that
First
rat.
Head.
First
then
the head,
body.
and then the body part, then the tail part.
A
Long
tail-shaped
tail.
land. Tail-shaped land is there.
Tail-shaped land. The small mountains could be.
One
small mountain, a big mountain, that's the middle. And small mountain into level land. So as if a rat is lying on the shore. When the approaching
It
ships
looked like that.
Looked exactly like that.
From
That
a
is
distant view.
From a distant view from the ocean, from Arabian Sea.
This hill lay like
Right. That's called Ejimala.
Ejimala.
That became Elimalai became Ejimalai. That is the northern, that's the kingdom.
Does it exist now?
Still there, but not as a kingdom. It's a part of Kasaragod district, part of Kannur district.
Districts.
Part of Kasaragod and Kannur district
Constitute this Elimala.
That is called Ejimalai. Now the place Ejimala is the hill actually. And the surrounding areas also were administered by a political unit headed by Nannan. Nannan, after Nannan. Nannan is the title actually. They are known in different names. It's Nannan, Ejimala Nannan. Okay, that is close to Tulu region of Karnataka. They have the Mangalapuram connection, very close to Tulunadu, that is in Karnataka. So, and the south is, then you're talking about five kingdoms. One is Ejimalai, north. And south of that region, the present day Calicut, maybe present day Trichur, Palakkad, Malappuram, in the heydays of Chera, that region up to present day Pathanamthitta, Kottayam, Idukki, stretching on to Tamil Nadu region, reaching all the way into the Bay of Bengal. That is the biggest Chera part, but not always. At the time of Nidum Cheraladan, the Chera kingdom started with Arabian Sea in the west, stretched across the plains into the Bay of Bengal coast in the east.
Yes.
So Cheran had port in the west called Muchuri and Thundi, and ports in the east also in Bay of Bengal. So it was such a huge landmass. But that land in the east was conquered by the Cholas. And some lands were conquered by the Pandyas later on. So
Even
Chera
then-
kingdom shrunk into a landmass.
Even then, some part belonged to Cheras.
Some parts remained with Chera. Cheras were dominated navally, but Chera were basically landed people. Because Coimbatore is landlocked. So they're basically, the landed place. And there, the symbol was bow and arrow.
Bow and arrow.
Bow and arrow. That was a symbol in Chera flag. Ancient Chera flag, 2000 years back.
2000 years back.
2000 years back. The second Chera is called the Mahodepuram Cherans. They were ruled by Perumal. The first Cheran was Kuttuvan. The second Chera is Perumal. Cheraman Perumal.
Cheraman Perumal.
That is right from 9th century AD onwards. So first Chera dynasty somehow disintegrated and gone. And some huge cataclysmic changes have happened. And from the ashes of Cheran came the second Chera in 9th century, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. That was the second Chera. And south of the Chera land was the Pandya land. The Pandya land is the present day Mathura, Tirunelveli, Thoothukudi, okay, and Kanyakumari. The present day Kollam in Kerala. The present day southern Alappuzha. That was the ocean actually. Alappuzha never existed. It was under the sea. That time it was immersed in sea. And they are all, and this was a Pandya land. But there were times in which there existed a kingdom called I Kingdom.
I also.
I Rajyam, I Kingdom. That is it was headquartered originally, the first I Kingdom that existed 2000 years back was around Kudi, Iyer Kudi. Iyer is a caste. It is a group. Iyer means, those people who are rearing cattle. They are Yadavas.
They led pastoral life.
A pastoral life. They were having a pastoral life. Iyer Kudi. That was the headquarters 2000 years back. But later, I Kingdom also disintegrated along with Cheran. And then it revived in 8th and 9th century AD. I Andiran is the 1st century AD Maharaja. And Ati and Titi and all were ancient Maharajas. Later came Karunan Tadakan. And all these, they are all I kingdoms. I's were ruled by I Maharajas, very dominant. They were setting up educational institutions. Like Kandalur Shalai, Parthivapuram Shalai. They are all educational institutions set by I kings. And I Kingdom was later gobbled up by the Pandyas. Pandyas dominated I. Then I just recaptured it from Pandyas. From time to time, the I Kingdom either merged with Pandya Kingdom or remained independent from time to time.
Totally 5. Chola, Pandya, Chera.
Chola actually is further east. Chola never had a major presence, although Cholan defeated Pandyan and Cheran and captured Kollam. Kollam was Pandya, it was the Venad capital. Later it became Chera capital. And it was destroyed by Cholas. But they never conquered and occupied. And they left. Chola.
Their manner of worship, which are the deities they
were having different deities. For Chera, the main deity was the Kottavai. Kottavai was the war goddess, part bird, part lady kind of face. The blood was offered. It was a war goddess. Blood. Then killing of animals and
human beings also?
Perhaps, yes. They were Maravas. They were Maravas. Basically, they were very cruel and they belonged to Palay Nilam and Maravas. And they killed animals. They were invaders. They were war-oriented people.
War-oriented.
That's why their symbol is bow and arrow.
bow and arrow.
And they would be, before every war, they will conduct undatam. That is a big feast with nei chore, that is food, delicious food made of rice and meat. And so they lavishly munch their way. And after that, they would fight. They would conquer. Neighboring area, they conquer. And they fight and then conquer, and then their empire became very big. They stretched eastwards, westwards, southwards, northwards. So that's Chera. And their deity was Kottavai. Present day, Bhagavati, Kali, Ammai, Amman are all having roots in the Kottavai worship.
What about Yadavas?
Yadavas had Lord Krishna.
Lord Krishna.
Lord Krishna, Yadava.
The Yadavas also a pastoral life they led.
Definitely. Yadukula is
Yadukula,
pastoral life. The Yadava life. And in fact, the Pandya, the word Pandya came from Krishna. Krishna's daughter, Pandya, was deputed to the south. And Krishna's own sister, Kumari, Kanya Kumari. See, that became the deity, right? Kanya Kumari is Krishna's sister, right? And then that was Krishna connection. And that is where, you know, the coal became Chenkol. Coal means the stick or rod which a king would hold as the symbol of power. Scepter.
What would I know?
Scepter.
So has it anything to do with Krishna's this one? Musical
not this
flute.
But no, not Krishna's flute. It was
this is also something like a call.
But Krishna was not using flute to control bad cattle. He was using a stick to control battle. So it is a stick rather than, you know, scepter rather than the thing, you know, that Idayas, Yadavas were using sticks to rear the cattle. And that was used. So that is how Kolatiri, Kon is the Kovilagam. The king's residence is called the palace. That is Kovilagam. Okay, Ko is the thing. Ko Adan, that is the king. So that is the kingdom. So I kingdom is the I influence on the Kerala land. That is the stick. That is the thing. That's so. Of course, there are different deities for Cholas and Pandyas and Cheras.
Thank you, sir.
Right.
Very thanks for the information.
It was enjoyable session. Yeah, it was very much enjoyable.
Very much enjoyable.
Right.
Thank you very much for watching us.
Thank you.
Let us see in the next episode.